consistently served as a source of inspiration for all of us. Their unwavering dedication and hard work have led to accomplishments that every CA aspirant dreams of achieving. Most of us have already been following them online, whether on YouTube, LinkedIn, or other social media platforms. And we have all imagined what it would be like to meet them in person and ask those questions we have always had. Thanks to Aksharam, that dream has finally come true today. And we are privileged to have with us the remarkable rank holder siblings whose CA journey has set a benchmark of excellence and determination. We are truly honored to have them with us this evening. It is an absolute honor to introduce CA Dr. Nandini Agrawal, a name that has become synonymous with excellence and inspiration in the field of finance and professional education. She holds the Guinness World Record as the youngest chartered accountant in the world, an achievement that reflects her extraordinary intellect and determination. She secured All India Rank 1 in CA Final, and her pursuit of excellence continued as she also achieved All India Rank 1 and World Rank 7 and 9 in ACCA. Beyond her academic brilliance, Dr. Nandini has gained professional experience with esteemed global institutions such as GIC Private Equity and Boston Consulting Group. She also shared her journey and insights on the prestigious platforms TEDx platform, inspiring countless young minds across the nation. She is not just a rank holder, she is a record breaker, a thought leader, and a true inspiration for every CA aspirant in the country. I kindly request CA Jolly Stephen, Chairman of Ernakulam branch of Sikasa of ICI, to escort our panelist, CA Dr. Nandini Agrawal, to the dais. Let's hear a big round of applause to welcome her.
We're also thrilled to have with us CA Sachin Agrawal, a name that perfectly represents the blend of academic brilliance and professional impact. He has secured an impressive All India Rank 18 in the CA final examination. He is also a qualified ACCA, further showcasing his commitment to global professional standards. Currently, he is part of JP Morgan's Healthcare Investment Banking Division, contributing to high-impact financial transactions. Earlier, at Vedanta Limited, he managed 27 investment companies and led several automation initiatives, streamlining financial statements and loan management systems. His entrepreneurial spirit shone through during his stint with SalarySay, a fintech startup where he helped build the sales division from scratch, led marketing efforts that grew the company's LinkedIn presence tenfold, and successfully launched products across multiple corporate clients. From managing numbers to managing teams and strategy, CA Sachin Agrawal has done it all and continues to inspire young professionals with his journey of focus, innovation, and excellence. I kindly request CA Beena Begum, Managing Committee Member, Ernakulam branch of SIRC of ICI, to escort our panelist, CA Sachin Agrawal, to grace the dais. Let's welcome him with a huge round of applause for his remarkable achievements and inspiring journey. Hello.
So, Namaskaram, Nandini ma'am and Sachin sir. Welcome to Kochi. So, before diving into some serious talks, I'll just ask you one question now. How's been Kochi so far? Are you here for the first time or have you visited before? Please share your experience.
It's our second time here.
Yeah.
In December 24, we came with our parents for a trip, and It's the second time, and I think the weather is quite good as compared to Mumbai. At least that's what we felt so far. And hotel has been great, stay has been great, and travel has been great. And you guys are very, very lovely so far. So look forward to the session.
And Sachin sir?
I think it's so far so good in terms of everything what you have done in terms of arrangement and this grand celebration. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, exactly, sir. And I'm sure that the crowd sitting here is also super excited to hear from you. So let's begin this by having a huge round of applause for our dear panelists.
So yes, let us take it back to where it all began. We all had our childhood dreams and aspirations and everything, right? So was becoming a chartered accountant always a part of that dream for you?
Well, if not my dream, it was definitely a part of my parents' dream. I come from a family where I've heard words like tax, ITR, return filing from the very childhood, and it's because of a tax practice firm which my father has at home, and my parents wanted that we both become CAs. We loved reading about business, commerce in general. We loved maths as well, so we ended up taking commerce plus maths in 11 and then pursued chartered accountancy. I don't regret anything about becoming a CA, and I think the best part about my CA journey has been that I never thought of any backup. CA was the only thing I wanted to do, and maybe that's why we did it so well.
And you, Sachin sir?
I think we share a similar journey because my mom fed us with a dream that both of you need to be a CA. Like the thought for me was because my father has a taxation firm and she wanted me to join that firm. So it came from that. And secondly, why did I so well? It is because I am very focused on CA because when I was in the 6th standard, my mom told me that Sachin, you need to be CA. So when I was in the 10th class, I never had any doubt that be it go for math or science. So that focus and direction was there already, so that fueled us up for the correct decision.
Yeah, so that ambition was deep-rooted from the younger age itself.
That's true.
Yeah, that's lovely. And when we step into CA, I think one thing we need the most is planning. We need to have a study routine and we also need to follow it consistently. So all of us are curious to know, like, how was your study routine during your initial days of CA as well as in the later stages?
So look, it's a very good question. I would divide my answer in 3 parts. First of all, I would focus when I was doing CA Foundation and Inter. Then I would focus on articleship and then finally for CA final days.
Yeah.
When I was doing my CA Foundation and Inter, my focus first is to complete all the lectures and then focus on going through the notes and the questions again and again. So to give an example, let's say like my day starts morning at 7 a.m. So the morning starting 2-3 hours, I would give it to solve questions, the lectures which I have watched last night. And then in the daytime, again would watch some lectures. And in the evening time, between 5 to 7 or 8, I would solve some questions again or maybe just find out my pain points, what was there. After that, again, like when I sleep, before that I make sure that I am watching one more lecture. So in nutshell, I make sure that I watch 2-3 lectures every single day of duration of 1-2 hours. So in the nutshell, like every CA Inter guy can think of completing 6-7 hours of lecture in the initial phase of their preparation. And once you are done with this part, so what you can do is that like make a pain point of the topics where you have felt that this particular thing can be tough for you. So when you go and revise that particular thing again, so you have certain points where you can double down your efforts and make sure that that particular problem will not happen again.
Yeah.
So like that was my plan during my CA Foundation and Inter. So I think if I talk about my time, I was able to finish my CA inter classes till September 18, and I started in July somewhere, because there were four subjects only. September 17, right? Sorry, yeah. September 17 or October 17, and then I took a break of 20 days to just revise the whole group before I jump onto the second group, because I was not very sure that whether I should give first group or second group or both together. So that was the dilemma I had in that month. But luckily, like when I found out, okay, that I am good with the first group, I can also target second group. So in the November or December, I started taking coaching for the second group. So that was the thing with me. For articleship experience, like in the starting phase, the plan was very simple: complete all the lectures, because I don't want to waste my time in watching lectures in my C final leaves. So I have planned in a way that, let's say my office starts at 10 a.m. and I come back by 7 or 8 on a good day. So I just make sure that I am completing a lecture for financial reporting or SFM, so that in the articleship of 2 years, or by the end of second year or 2.5 years, I should be done with 4 or 5 subjects. So that, like, right now you have only 6 subjects, but in my time there were 8 subjects. So I completed 6 subjects at the end of second year, and by the 2.5 year I was able to complete almost every subject. So the first focus should be on that. Plus weekends are your golden time that you have. Don't waste it going out, watching some movies or games. Sometimes it's okay, but most of the time just try to watch lectures, revise things, learn new skills. But the period of 2-3 years of articleship is for you to make yourself very strong for the upcoming time. So utilize that time very effectively, so that you can take the fruits of your hard work which you have done.
Yes, exactly. And I think all our CA aspirants here must have got the tips directly from the rank holders itself. And sir, I think one of the problem that we face is we all have the study plans. And we make plan like every week. But what happens is we follow them for 2 or 3 days very diligently. Then again we lose track and come back to square one. So what is your tip for staying consistently to the study routine that you have created for yourself?
I think for me, for being consistent is my competition. So Nandini has given a very tough competition to me so far, like in terms of the number of hours you study or not. So I say that to be consistent, you need to have a very good competition in front of yourself, where you feel challenged every single day that you need to complete so and so chapters and so things by so and so time. So that is very important. Like, you need to benchmark some people, some of your peers, to perform best. Like if you have your friends of your level of intelligence, it's okay. But if you want some competition or a very tough fight, just find someone who is very stronger than you, so that you can come out of your comfort zone to learn new things, new techniques to achieve more.
Yes, exactly. And that is thing what CA teaches us more, getting out of the comfort zone.
Correct.
So another question that we have is, on the exam days, most CA aspirants struggle with, calming themselves. They face a lot of stress on the exam day particularly. And one thing they're very worried about is finishing the paper on time. So could you share us some tips on how you manage to, take care of the time management during your paper, as well as, manage to calm yourself down on those days?
So about time management during paper, the best thing that we did was we solved a lot of mock test papers. So while we solved mock test papers, we used to solve it in the exact ICI time, which was 2 to 5 p.m. and literally like locked in a room and with just fan operating with no AC, because we really wanted to test ourselves for the exam environment. And in exam, you get 15 minutes for reading and 3 hours to solve the paper. But for ourselves, we were a bit harsh and we were like, we only need 3 hours in which we have to read as well as solve the paper. So it actually helped to test ourselves in difficult times. There were times when we were not able to solve the paper, and we realized it, and then we worked on it. Okay, what could be done? One thing that always used to happen with me, and I think happens with a lot of people, is when you see the paper, the first question, you end up spending like 30-40 minutes on first question, because you think that if you write a first question well, it will leave good impression on the examiner. So you write it with a very beautiful handwriting, you like fill 10-20 pages on that, but then after 30 minutes or 40 minutes you realize, oh, my time is gone. So you have to be conscious, okay, if it is a 100 marks paper and I have 180 minutes, which means 1.8 minute per marks, and you have to do the calculation, okay, if it's a 5 marks question, I can spend 9 minutes max on that. So if you start doing that calculation while you are solving your mock test papers, chapters, you will build that habit of time management. And time management is not something which you can learn just with papers. It is more of a personality as well. If as a person you know how to manage time, then it would also be reflected in your paper. And time management, eventually all of these things, time management, consistency, it comes from mindset. Firstly, you need to have that mindset, okay, I don't want to waste time. And for having that mindset, you need to have some goals in life. Okay, this is what I want to achieve. I have 24 hours every day. And if I want to achieve this, I have to do this backward calculation. Like throughout our CA journey, school, we always used to do backward planning. My exam is in May, I have 3 months. Okay, how much do I need to study every day? So that's about time management. Like do the planning, do the backward calculation and practice. About stress. We were very lucky to be educated about meditation, spirituality while we were 8 or 10 years old. Our parents taught how to meditate and how it helps you to calm your mind, to think clearly, and to focus. While we had stress, we had anxiety, our mom would tell us, let's meditate for 10 minutes. Whether it was 12, CA Foundation, CA Inter, or CA Final, we used to meditate 10 minutes, 15 minutes every day. And also, every time before going for exams, we would meditate 5-10 minutes. How to meditate is very important. Many people think that, okay, meditation is just controlling your thoughts, but meditation is not controlling your thoughts. It's loosening up yourself, observing yourself. It can be done by closing your eyes, observing your breath, observing your body movement, feeling your arms, feeling your legs, feeling your eyes, and how your chest goes in and out while breathing, what is the feeling in your stomach while you are breathing. Basically, being conscious of your surroundings is meditation. And in Buddha teachings, it is said that being conscious is the present, basically what you really are. So if you are able to do that, you will feel very calm and very peaceful. And then do some 5 minutes positive affirmation. This is something which I started in last 1 or 2 years. Basically, whenever you wake up in the morning, just say 5 good things to yourself. It can be, I'm healthy, I'm smart, I'm focused, I'm going to revise all the chapters today, I know everything, and it would inject positivity during the day.
Yeah, that's a beautiful answer. And one thing that I have noted is that you are very good at practicing. Like, practice makes a man perfect. Whatever thing you take upon, you practice it daily. And that is what bringing remarkable results in your life. We should take note of that exactly. And ma'am, now again, stepping into CA, that means we have to isolate ourselves from many things that we were doing. Like from our friends, family functions, and all those things we loved, watching movies, etc., etc. And that sometimes makes us feel down. I'm sure you must have also gone through all that stages, but you were better at managing them. So could you share some tips on like how you made all those sacrifices more enjoyable in your study period?
So you should compartmentalize your life. So let's say you are in CA Inter, you have 9 months to prepare or whatever. You say that, okay, for the initial 3-4 months, I would do all the classes, I would do all the revision, and after that, maybe for next 10 or 15 days, I would, let's say, study 8 hours, and I would also do some activities. I'll do exercise, I'll spend time with my family. Maybe I'll just go for one small trip. But you have to plan, okay, for the next 3 months, study is my life, it's my priority. For next 10 days, okay, I can do this, it's okay. And then again, I am back to the same old routine. So if you look at your life in terms of compartments, in terms of priority, you would be able to manage things well. And it is not something which ends while you are a student. Even after you start working somewhere, you will find it difficult to manage your job, your family, your friends, and your own hobbies. You might be in a position that, okay, I am working a lot, but still I don't have any time for my hobbies, which I thought I'll do after becoming CA. So you need to define your priorities. Okay, for the next 2 months, it's me and gym. For next 2 months, it's my job and friends. And maybe for next 2 months, it might be your job, you and your family. That way you will be able to manage things better.
Yeah, that's exactly. I think many of us might have dropped many things that we have, liked long ago. Now it's time to pick up all those.
Yes.
Right, so sir, moving on to the articleship phase of your journey. So articleship is actually a very key phase of a CA aspirant's journey. So, and we have a lot to learn from articleship, right? So could you share some insights from your articleship journey, the kind of work, the mentorship that you received, the overall experience, and how useful you found your articleship in your CA final preparation as well as your professional journey ahead?
Yeah, sure. Just for the context, like I did my articleship from mid-size firm from Gurgaon. My exposure was into statutory audit, GST, and income tax audit. So, in terms of the experience and the exposure, I would say that the exposure varies from dealing small clients to big listed ones also. So, if you join a mid-sized firm, just make sure that that firm has every kind of work which you can learn, so that you can grow and decide, okay, which particular sector excites you a lot. So like on the experience part, it is more on that side. But if I talk about the mentorship and the guidance that I have received from my partner, so I think my partner has groomed me a lot, like the lens through which I used to see the statements and all, and the way he taught me, okay Sachin, like this is the way you should follow while you deep dive into a particular thing. So that particular aspect of learning has helped me a lot. And if I talk about that, how that experience has helped me in my real life and in my CA final also. So I was doing a lot of things in IndAS, and that particular thing helped me for the financial reporting paper. So even without taking the lectures, I was able to crack a few of the questions from the paper just because I have done in the practical life. So I know that if I follow this approach, I can do this. So if you take your articleship very seriously and understand with logic that why we are doing this, then it really helps you when you prep for the CA final.
Yeah.
I would say on that.
And sir, I think the results are around the corner now, and many of them are looking for articleship also. So any tips to share, like what should we look for while we are looking for an articleship?
I would say that first of all, talk to someone who has worked in both of these firms and take an idea that what are the pros and cons of doing in mid-size versus Big Four. Secondly, where you want to be after doing CA. If you want to open up your CA firm, then I would say do it from a mid-sized firm where you can get exposure of all the level of work, and that can be helpful for you when you take up your own firm. Right now, I think nothing much you can do. You can just shortlist some firms where you want to go, and make your CV ready for that, because just after the like after tomorrow like you need to go and just apply for articleship where you want to go.
All right, so ma'am, when we're managing, both your articleship as well as your CA final preparation, and then further ahead as well, so how important was your support system, that is your friends, your family, your mentors, your teachers in this journey?
So we did our articleship from Gurgaon, and it was the first time that we were staying away from our family, from our place, which is Morena, Madhya Pradesh. Our mom was staying with us for most of the time. It's like she would be with us for 3 months, and she would go back home for 15 days and would again come back. So for those 2 years, because then COVID came, so 1.5 or 2 years, our mom was staying with us, and I think it's a very big sacrifice. My father was at Morena, my mom was here, so they did the sacrifice so that we can study comfortably. We didn't need to worry about okay, what to cook in food, where to get groceries from, all of those things. So I feel very grateful for that, and even the meditation part, which I just talked about, that also came from parents. And like all of us, everyone has moments where we feel low. While we were studying for CA final, we gave our mock test series and we were barely passed. And we were feeling very low at that point of time. My mom was asking me how much marks did you got, and we felt under pressure. But then they made us understood that you have to do your best and no one is gonna say anything to you. Don't worry about the results, just do your best and we trust you. Near to my exams were in July 21. In June 21, I fell sick. I was not feeling very energized. I was feeling dizzy as well. And I was just asking my mom, why does it happen with me? Like near to exams, like something which I have been studying for last 4-5 years. And now it is happening. It feels so bad. And then she was making me understand, don't worry, it's just a test. Everything happens for a good reason. God is just testing you and you will do great. You will get great results. Those positive affirmations, not just then, but still now, it keeps me going every single day to become a better version of Nandini, which was earlier.
That's beautiful, ma'am. And I'm like reminded of like when a person does CA, the whole family is involved in it. The whole family is actually doing CA with them. They are part of that journey. Yeah. And ma'am, moving ahead forward, like and sir, like you have achieved ranks, becoming a rank holder. How has this influenced your professional growth?
So when you become a rank holder, a lot of opportunities open up for you, but at the same time, expectations go up. So let's say if you were someone who was not really expecting rank, you studied very well, but you were like, okay, even if I get passed, I would be happy. Let's say your salary expectation was 13 lakhs, but you got a rank. So now your expectation is, let's say 18 to 20 lakhs. You would not be happy with a job where you would be getting 14 to 15 lakhs. So actually, it gets very tricky when you get a rank because your expectations go up. Yes, a lot of opportunities open up, but there are 50 ranks and multiple rank holders on single rank. So you have to manage, I would say, mindset management is very, very important because sometimes I have seen people getting affected by it a lot, even myself. I got under a lot of pressure, okay, I've got AIR1, so I need to get this opportunity, this is the best one. I felt under a lot of pressure. So first thing is to manage your expectations. And secondly, yes, you will get opportunities for, let's say, finance leadership programs, management consulting at BCG, Bain, Accenture. And besides that, you can even apply for a lot of off-campus opportunities. Mahindra Finance Leadership Program, then there is HUL Leadership Program. Very good programs, and they don't shortlist people who are not rank holders. So that helps a lot. And third, it helps you build credibility. Once you get a rank, at least everyone in finance domain would reply to you, to your LinkedIn message. And at least you can get the first call, you can get the first shortlisting. But having said that, having a rank would not always help you. It is helpful just in your first job. After that, how you work at your first job, what your colleagues say about you, what your bosses say about you matters from then and there. So you have to ensure that you keep going, you keep putting that hard work after getting a rank, which you put for getting that rank, to keep going like in life always.
That was a great insight, ma'am. Thank you.
And to you, sir. So, CA is a ever-evolving course. We consistently have to upgrade ourselves. So, what are the skills that you think that CA students as well as professionals you know, as at this day and era, they should gain so that they can be future ready?
I feel that uh, as the papers were there today, I think they need to learn on the AI side that how AI can help them in their work, be it in the financial modeling, be in the auditing, taxation, and many fields. So it is very important to like to upgrade yourself with AI because AI is a new game changer. And in the CF field, it is not that used. So a lot of use is incoming in the different areas. So just learn on that. Just try to see what are the different models and the different startups are coming on and the problems that they're trying to solve on. So I would say that uh, get get some insight on the AI and that how they can help.
Thank you, sir. That was great. And I think we have some serious talk now, right? So what about jumping into some small rapid fire round?
Yes, yes.
Sure.
Okay, ma'am. So my first question is, any subject that you felt like it would be good if you had a skip button?
Yes, in SMNC Inter.
And sir?
Economics.
And sir, a fun question for both of you. If I were to ask you about the proportion of hard work, planning, and luck in achieving success in CA exams, what would your breakdown be?
Hard work, I would say 60%, 20% luck, and remaining is.
And you, ma'am?
I would say hard work 50%, 30% is your planning, and 20% luck.
Okay, ma'am. Now what are some misconceptions that people have about rank holders?
The rank holders are bookworms and they don't have a life.
And sir?
And I feel that they're not humble and they don't reply and talk properly, I feel.
And just to be not the case, right? So before we wrap up, I'm sure the students here are very excited to engage with you, with the both of you. So they may have a ton of questions to ask, but due to our time constraints, we are limiting our questions to around 3 from the audience. So guys, do ask any questions that you have to our rank holders.
My question is, if you could go back to your articles period or final period, what would be the one thing that you would be telling yourself back then from now? I mean, the one thing that you want to tell yourself when you're younger.
Got it. Maybe I would tell one thing which I think I could have done differently while I was during my articleship. For me, I think that would be, there was one subject for which I took classes 3 years back. So my articleship started in October 18 and my exams were in May 21. So I took SFM classes in October 18 and it was so long. I've taken those classes. So some of the concepts I think were not clear to me and I thought I would just go through them by myself and I would be fine with them. But closer to exams, I realized that I am still struggling on those concepts. So I think I could have taken SFM fast track classes maybe 5-6 months before the exams to be more confident about it.
What about, sir?
I think that I have not participated in any of the NatCon events when I was doing my articleship, and I feel that these events form a very important part of your entire CV and how it shapes you. So if I had known of these events and things, so I would have been more socially active in these areas, and I would agree with Nandini in terms of the lecture that we have taken. So, like a few of the subjects that you should take near the exam. So that's it.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the audience?
Good evening, both of you. My name is Harinarayanan K. My question is, what is your advice for students who think they are struggling behind the CA journey, like struggling with multiple attempts, and they think they are lagging behind their colleagues, other students?
Well, I think firstly, I don't know what do you mean by multiple attempts here, if it is 6, 7, or if it is 3 or 4. But generally, the way I think about it is, let's say you don't clear in one attempt, you should introspect, why did it happen, analyze properly, do your best again, but have a timeline in mind. Okay, I'm going to give 2 attempts, 3 attempts. And I have seen people who say that, okay, this is my 4th or 5th attempt, but I know that I didn't study properly for the initial 3 attempts or the 4 attempts. Like, they know that there is some shortcoming in their karma and they want to do it better, but still they commit the same mistake again and again. Then you need to question yourself, what is that something which is stopping you from being 100% at your exams. It can be that you don't have natural interest in that subject or the entire process of becoming CA, but because everyone was becoming a CA or your parents told you to do so, you have started doing CA. And second might be some serious problem in your strategy or planning. So you should introspect a lot. Okay, what is the reason that I'm not able to clear or I'm not able to give 100%, and give one attempt where you feel that, okay, this is my 100% or this was my 100%. And even if you don't make it, my personal advice would be to think of other routes that you can take, and that would do justice to your life and yours.
Thank you, ma'am.
I would also say the same thing. Just see that if you are able to find out what is the problem behind not passing it, and if you can work on that, then it's great. Else, just find out something else. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Good evening, both of you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My question is for Nandini. You have cleared your CA final at the age of 19, and you also cleared your ACCA, and you have taken the job of many CA students' dream, management consultancy and private equity, and you are doing great in your personal life also, like doing meditation, doing meditation, dance and all. You know, in spite of clearing in spite of achieving these all things, what is your inspiration that is keeping you move forward rather than getting satisfied with the things which you have already achieved?
That's a very good question. So I heard this line somewhere. I think it was said by B.K. Shivani. Someone asked that, okay, why are we here on this earth? Why do we come again and again? And she said that each of us has some purpose that we are born, and we explore that purpose during the course of it. As we grow up, we realize what are our strengths, what are weaknesses. So I personally think that if you think you have the potential to do more, if you can do 10 things, if you can do 20 things, you should never be satisfied with doing just 20 things. You should always push yourself to realize your potential. Today you think that, okay, I cannot work more than 10 hours, but let's say if in a situation where you have to do it, you would realize that you can actually work for 14 hours. So for me, I want to realize my potential. I want to know what all I can do, what all I can't do, and it gives me a lot of thrill, because doing this, I don't just add value to myself, but whatever I do, I try to share my learnings with everyone, and it makes me happy to add value to society, to add value to this nation, and I would want to do that at a very larger level someday. So that's my inspiration.
Hello.
Very
Hello.
beautifully said, ma'am.
Hi. Paul Shazan here. My question is to both of you. Like, did you guys have a habit of saving and investments during your period of articleship? And how is it going now? And how important do you think it's for us as CA students to nurture such a habit?
Well, I started saving when I was like 13 years old. I used to save from my pocket money which I used to get from my parents. Just if I talk about articleship time, so the entire expense thing was like that. My father used to pay the rent, and remaining things were taken by us. So we had made sure that we will try to save 20-30% of the stipend, and we will invest into SIP. And that time Nifty was around 16,000, and it's today is 26,000, so it's doing pretty well. But on a piece of advice, I would say if your expenses allows, then try to save money in your articleship. Just don't try to spend what all you earn.
Yes, similar to what Sachin said, have a proportion in your mind. Okay, I want to save 20 or 30%, and just do the SIP. Like, it should be deducted just after you get your stipend, and then you have to manage your expenses within whatever amount you are left with. And I think that should be good.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir, for great answers. And yesterday, as our president, sir, said, all good things come to an end. And I think we can't have enough of this conversation. We could hear them from hours. We have many questions to ask. But yes, we have our own time constraints. But thank you so much, Nandini ma'am and Sachin sir, for sharing your journey, your valuable insights with us. And to all our CA aspirants here, you should not only take away the strategies, but also their motivation, determination and perseverance that has led them to where they are today. So once again, thank you so much, Nandini ma'am and Sachin sir, for coming to Aksharam and raising this dais.
Thanks a lot.
Our pleasure.
A huge round of applause for CA Nandini Agarwal and CA Sachin Agarwal.